worry, non-farm worry. Telling you.
Like
I
interest
think
rates
people are
going
like,
up.
oh, things are too good in Europe or things are too good in U.S. and that's that.
I because every time we have a sell off, it's almost always been what? Rates, right?
Yep. And it always ends up not being worth the time.
So here's my quote. Then why is gold rallying, right? If they're going to raise, why? Because they're afraid of inflation or some sort of crapatola like that? Is that?
Well, I think gold got a little overdone. You know, if you notice, the dollar's still weakening too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yep. So gold goes up. Okay. Yep.
No, or it's still strengthening. I think the dollar and gold, the dollar has bounced back a little bit, and I think, you know, they sold off gold for kind of no reason last week at one point, and I think gold belongs closer to 120 than 110 or GLD. I think the future belongs somewhere around 1250.
Well, because they like the silver.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they like is it seems like they're liking like commodities, like little commodity stocks, stuff that's been totally out of favor, you know. This has made quite a little run lately.
Are you recording, Andrew?
I am,
Good.
you know, because this thing just 17 and a half, this has made a heck, and we looked at this, what, last week too, and it was trading, what, 21 bucks?
Yep.
I did a put 1 by 2 for 18-cent credit in AAL. Oh, weekly? Let me see here. I got to close my back window. Hold on. Alrighty. I will be glad when my office is done. Let's see here. The airlines seem to be holding up pretty well, though, considering. Well, that could work out well for you, Susan. You're kind of getting right into the sweet spot. Mark liked the little LinkedIn credit. My only problem with
Yeah, I
LinkedIn
do
is,
like that little
huh?
bear trade a lot.
I want a stock that's. This one is a little too worrisome as a broken wing because there's nothing to stop it from going to 190 or just totally falling apart here. Yeah. It's a real expense. It kind of feels like Netflix did, 2.5 years ago when it got all those giddy heights and then, the earnings sort of slowed a little and everybody realizes it's like 300 times earnings. You know, I'm not, I would prefer something with like some downside run in this. So we looked at some time spreads in this. Let's see what we got. So this was Ned's idea with the cheap vol. Just buying the straddle though. God, even just buying the straddle, it's down money. Hard to believe. How was that thing down money? Oh, so we bought the 200. I had the vol going up in here. Well, it's decay. So it just kind of stuck around there. We looked at this for like 360. How about if we bought something like May 2, something like that for 229? know if that has enough run for me for this name. What do you think, Mr. Mark?
Was that the 95?
Yeah, but at May 4, May 2 for 228.
I mean, why not just do the regular May June?
Well, it's expensive.
Is it really? I didn't think it was much more than what you're looking at.
It was $3.
Versus 230? I don't know. I think I'd rather on the June.
366. You
Yeah.
think we could roll it a couple times?
Mm-hmm. Or the underlying is just going to kind of fall, and that's going to do really well.
Right. Okay. And that puts us back at where it was just after the earnings came out. I want to get that spot. Right. 198 is the low, really the high, 208, but that was just, and it's consistently just not making it back. All right. Because I wouldn't mind adding a little short delta. And again, one of the other reasons these 95 puts are cheap. I wonder if it would be worth it to do some kind of, we buy a 95 put and we sell like 90, 85 put spreads. Is there enough in that in May? No, not May 2. That's this week. May 90, 85. You'd only get 40 cents for that put spread. That's not worth it. But we dropped 10. I'm just curious if I could find a way to pay for a June 195 put. But those things are like $7 or what are they, $5? They're $5. So there's no easy way to do it. You'd have to do it 10 to 1. I don't think you could sell enough here to make that work. I don't think so. So anyway. So from a strategy letter point of view, what do we got going on here? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post this to the strategy letter as a trade, right? And what we're going to do is go back and link back to this as an idea, right? So we've got 29 vol in LinkedIn, pretty cheap June volatility, generates some pretty good data per delta. So the idea is it's getting back to kind of a point right around here, but it gives us some time, even if we rally, right? If we rally, I'm okay with buying let's say even a 200 or a 205 call spread if it really rallies and stays above this level for any particular amount of time. Okay. Alrighty. You looked at some other ideas too this morning, Mark. Didn't you have some?
IBM Bear Broken Wing Fly.
Yes. Yeah, for credit.
Yep.
In May?
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking what you looked at. So May.
Yeah, that would be great. I did do May. I wasn't able to do it for credit, but it's in the money. That was the key.
Okay.
Although it might have moved enough that no, it's kind of moved away actually a little bit. But the thing is, it's got a dividend tomorrow, so this is going to be right at 170. So you could do the 70, 67.5, 62 and pay a dime, or you could do the 72.5, 70. So it kind of becomes kind of a butterfly-ish type trade.
Right. Let's see. 70, 67.5.
I was looking at the 72, 70, 65.
Oh, for real credit. It's like a small debit.
Yeah, but it's actually in the money, which is what I think is interesting.
Yep. And then after the divvy goes, what's the divvy, like $2?
$1.30.
130. So the stock's gonna drop by. It'll drop down to
170, 130.
170, 130, and that should hang right down to what, 167. It doesn't look like too bad of a timeline for this. You do like a 5 lot of that.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Where IBM is here. 170. So that was when the market had that little ugliness. I don't think that is too bad at all. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these up on a page, and then when there's an alert or an update, and then what we're going to do is have a link back to, so when we do the strategy letter, the format's going to change a little bit, where it's going to link back to a page that has the trade links of the trades. So what we're going to do is, once we post a trade for the day, that trade will have all the adjustments on it. So what it'll be it will be the Apple page, or it will be the LinkedIn page, or it will be the IBM page. So you'll be able to follow the trades here, right? But instead of just kind of this pit report, we'll have a morning report, but we'll have the trades that you can easily follow. And what we'll have is, when I do the morning update, I'll just have a list of links for Apple. So you just click on that and you'll go back to the Apple page. And all we'll do is be updating the Apple page. So the whole idea of the trade will stay on one page. Any adjustment, a change in market conditions, anything we do to update that. And hopefully it will be a lot simpler. So I'll explain that when I send out the strategy letter in the morning. And the idea is I just want it just to be easier for people to follow along. I want big. Anyway, I don't know if you're going to get all that, Susan. Green for long and red. I know you are. Well, not everybody has your experience.
Well, in this way, there'll be a centralized location where the progress of the trade can be found.
Right.
And that's really the key. Is we want people, if you want to be able to follow the trade start to finish, all of the updates will appear throughout the trade from start to finish, close to open, will appear in one spot. And I think that will make it so much easier to follow. Now, you're going to get an email every time we update a trade. So just be aware, your emails will increase if you are subscribed to the strategy letter. But that is really the best way we can come up with to get this whole thing moving properly.
Yeah, that was us testing last night.
Yeah, we think you'll be happy for it in the end, because now you won't have to jump from post to post to post to post to find trade progression. All right, you'll get one clear email that says update in Apple, update in if we start trading something else, you'll get an update in that. So it just, to me, is the next progression, and will make life very much easier for traders to follow.
The IBM put fly is what? It is right here.
It's a can't miss winner, Sue. That's what the IBM put fly is.
You can't say that.
It is there is no way to possibly lose on that IBM trade. It is quite possibly
Oh gosh.
the smartest, best trade in history. No,
The smartest, bestest trade? Let's see. Let's go for our strategy letter ideas. Well, it's the whole idea of it's not doing very much, either good or bad. I like to fade this Netflix rally too, but
yeah, the IBM is a bit of a fade, but it's more of a, it's gonna just kind of sit here for the next few weeks and maybe move a touch slower.
well, I would fade it like the Andrew way.
Yeah. Now, two trades that we did talk about in chat today were also SFM and
Sprouts?
Sprouts.
I saw this SFM trade.
We got some
Wasn't this a
big
near the
call
money
buyer.
trade?
Yeah, it was a big call buyer. I decided to go with the June 32.5 calls for 70 cents, and then working an offer at 45 in the May 32.5s. Long that time spread for a quarter, I think is really cheap, but I don't mind owning the June 31s outright.
Okay.
Or the June 32.5s. I mean, otherwise, why else would that guy be buying so many of those calls?
Oh, in the SFM?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. Stats. I looked at, they bought the May 30s, but they sold stock against it. I thought. They sold 500,000 shares. It's an earnings play. So they're looking for something to move. Anyway, we could go over our strategy letter stuff, though, being as it's that time. We can start with our Apple trade.
Oh, wait, whoa. What time is it?
It's this time for the strategy letter.
Andrew, what is the strategy letter?
It's a letter on strategy.
Okay, I was just making sure. All right, move on.
Here is our Apple time spread. Apple actually traded. Apple's talk about average true range in there lately. It's like 2% a day or something. So it's actually trading quite robustly, I would say, for a 24 vol stock. I mean, traded 130.5 yesterday. So it's moving all over the place. Big divvy coming out. So I don't know what the deal is with it. I guess the earnings are so good that they decided to sell it off. Not quite sure what the deal is with it, but the idea here is we're going to buy the near the money call and try to sell out of the money calls against it. I don't think so. Altera, this is one here where, well, they just have their regular dividend. It's 51 cents or something, right? The divvy's pretty big. Yeah, it's like they have 1/3 of their market cap is in cash. So I know. It's true though. Oh no, I know. That might make the stock rock a little bit.
Altera?
No, Apple. It's they could do anything, Susan. I'm just saying. Why are you diagonalizing something? That's what it sounds like. Right. I'm about ready to sell some puts in here, I have to admit, because this is looking kind of dopey to me. I've been pricing the 120 puts. We're getting to a point where I think it's about time to sell some.
And where?
Apple. I know it's a fanboy trade. It upsets you.
No, the put sale is not a fanboy trade. I mean, the buying out of the money calls because it's going up forever is the fanboy trade.
Yeah, it's definitely got some vol in it, Susan. That's why I think the put spreads make a better sale on it right now.
Yeah.
At least you get something. Altera, for whatever reason, Intel, they have not done the dance anymore, and they're still dancing. So I do not know what to say about the Altera. But again, we didn't pay much. We didn't pay anything for this. And it's traded as low as what, $40? And it wasn't really a trade that you can unwind as of yet. CSX, I think the thrill is gone, unfortunately. We're going to end up making $100 on that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where this thing moves. I mean, a lot of the activity moved to June.
Yep.
But I guess there was some belief they may have an activist investor, and that seems to have gone away.
Right. Well, thankfully, we rolled it to June.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got 2 June calls that we own for free. I mean, Andrew, if you want to dump one of them, I don't know how much money is left in those.
The June 29s, we paid 109. The only bummer was we were up like $400 on this, and now it's,
I feel like we should be up more than that.
Well, we were, but we paid.
I mean, we were up $398 is what you're telling me.
At one point.
Instead of 298.
Yep. Well, we just didn't.
No, we were up 298. These have only lost half their value.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, though, I thought we were up more than that. I don't know what
so we've given away. So, the question is, do you want to be up $100 or do you want to be up 198? We'll either rip the band. Maybe we rip the Band-Aid off and wait for this thing to heat up.
The problem is I did that in Tesla.
Today's a terrible day to be selling it. Yeah, and today's a terrible day to be dumping it.
Today is not the day.
Today is one-off sell-off.
EWH,
one-off sell-off.
We do have a put in here, but nothing's going on.
All right. Hey, Andrew, I gotta run, but I will.
Right.
I will talk to you guys
later. Do you have a webinar tonight or tomorrow night?
I have a webinar tonight at 7 on my good old. You don't need to stick around for this one. It's not an option pit one. When I do an option pit webinar of the month, it's always original. This is one that I just kind of cart out. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you can find 40 copies of it. So no need to stick around for the one tonight.
But you have one on the SIBO next week.
I do. That is exactly the same one I'm doing today.
Oh, really? We should promote it on the. We should promote. Is there a link we can promote on the blog though? I want a link I can promote in the blog though.
Oh,
I think I got one in the mail. I'll see if I can just do something. Facebook. What do we got here? Again, this is a July call spread. It's done awful. And every time I think, well, I should buy a more out of the money thing, more out of the money put spread against it. It looks like they're just killing all the darling stocks. So I think at this point, I'm going to just sit with what we've got. The May 85 calls, though, are almost ready just to be bought back in. And the question is what do I sell? You know, I thought about selling something here, but at this point, I kind of like, I'm just going to kind of sit on it for a little bit. And that's where I am on that so far. FXE, all this new strength in the euro. This was our original position. The euro keeps rallying. We rolled our May 4 call to the 109.12 to this call spread. And the problem is the vol's just not going down in here. The vol's not going down, the euro's not coming down. Whatever this German unwind trade that's going on is still not over. So folks are jumping back into the euro to buy boons. That's the simple answer, because they're now paying more yield. And we did buy this butterfly. It cost us $240. So right now that thing's down about 150. So that one's kind of hurting us a little bit, but it could easily get much better. GoPro. This is where we started buying some of these. You know, vol was low. These stocks weren't doing great. We started buying, just, you know, grabbing a couple of these time spreads. This is the 49 time spread in GoPro. We also bought one in Yelp. Yep. Okay, so they're all just kind of hanging out right at the strike. You paid a dime? Okay. I know, which is why I told him not to say it, but he said it anyway. The next trade we have here is RAD. Again, the 8 put is okay. It's just this, we're going to need to sell a few of them to pay for our 10 call. As simple as that. We've got a legacy put in SPY, which is fine. Our AT&T, this trade is going to go out. We're just going to let these 33 puts expire. I was going to sell more, but, you know, but it's funny thing is, right, this whole trade was a trade on, AT&T was 34 at the time, and for the $400 in margin, the trade's made $1.30. Right? AT&T has gone nowhere, but it has paid a divvy. So just doing a margin versus return on risk at some of these at-the-money puts. Nope. We took a page from Susan's put selling notebook, so I just did it a little differently by when the put is juiced by the dividend, I buy the slightly more out of the money puts, and then I try to sell more puts against it. And we got one extra roll out of it, which was nice. And now the 33 puts, right? We have the May 33 puts that were short, right? And, you know, they're short for 13 cents. You could buy those back if you want, or we'll just wait to collect the extra 20 bucks. I'm not worried about it too much, but it would give you more puts in your portfolio if you just close the 33s and then you have these 31s. Or you could start a roll to the next month. I think what I'd rather do is look around here, you know, and sell the June, something like the June 33 puts again. I think that wouldn't be too bad. But again, we would do this, we would buy 2 and sell 1, right? But what I'm trying to do is I would go out to July, buy the July puts, and continue to sell the forward puts because the vol's so low in there. All right. And that would be if we decide to keep the strategy going. But that's what the whole idea is, just trying to use your margin intelligently. So TOL. Here we've rolled this out and we're long a June 30, or essentially along a June 40 call now. And I think we're down like $5. Stock's down 10% or something from there. Again, I think this is all, everybody's worried about the rates going up. So this is going to be one of those non-farm payrolls where, I don't know, maybe we do push a little lower. Or the payroll number stinks and we don't. The good news is bad news scenario. VXX. Okay, remember we had this May 20, we had this put expire, but I sold the other one. Like I said, I think 20 is kind of a target for this week if the non-farm payroll number is, kind of ho-hummy. And we get down to there, the trade will do very well. Right, but we've sold, I think we paid 30 cents initially with another 13. We've only in this now 17 cents for this May 20 put. But I think for this week, you could almost sell, like I was thinking of maybe we'll look at this in the chat today. Bruce, you had a whole lot of letters in there, numbers. But I was wondering, is it almost setting up like these May 20 puts are just, there's no value to them at all? Bruce, the buying power effect would be 20,000, but it's not. Because right now, for some reason, it thinks that we're long, we're short an extra 10 lot of these, which we're not. It's only $170 in all-in money. The buying power is not picking this up right because it's not expiring the May 1 option. Right? We're long the Mays, short the May 2s. These are expired. Right? Actually, we wouldn't even be overextended. We have plenty of room. When there's actually something really good, we'll deploy more capital. XHB doing okay. Just sold lots of call spreads against this call. I like this little slingshot trade for a long. If the market really got ugly, we would think about buying the June call spread back, but I don't think we're at that point yet. And we already went over Yelp, so there we are. So here's our strategy letter again. This will stay the same. You can always just go back and look at what we did with these trades, like an EWH, what we started with, what we sold. You can always look back at these. It's no problema. Okay? And again, we will post what we'll call like the legend of the trade on one page per post. So what you'll do is if you're saying, okay, I'm following, my Apple trade, right? Because the way our you like that? So if we go Apple, okay. Here's the latest pit report for Apple. You go right to the page and get it all. So if I go Apple, let's say strategy. So I'll make sure that when you search for Apple strategy letter, you will get, right, the top trades for Apple that will show up. So you can go right to it. It won't take you any time at all to find it. Okay? Okie dokie. And with that, you know what I got to do? I got to put SLV back here. I'm going to get rid of the TBT. There we go. All right, everybody. And with that, looks like the market's going to, what's funny is, we're getting the 1%, the 1% move, but we're not really getting much react. I mean, we got 14 VIX and nothing else. Pretty underwhelming move for vol. That's all I'm going to say there. All right, everybody. So our trade ideas are IBM on the broken wing through the divvy, and LNKD, a little short time spread here. Let me just lock in right around 366. And I am waiting for you. Yes. I should be able to go into the strategy. They are not though. They're not yet there though, right? What it will say is, it will say like LinkedIn. There will be a post on the top. It will say LinkedIn when you go to the strategy letter when you open this up, right? The morning there will be a morning update, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna update the current, right? Instead of saying read more here, what I do when I update it is I'm just gonna edit this one, right? So the morning update, I won't be continuing to add. The only things we'll add, the way you'll see it is, the morning update will be up there, and then below it there will be Apple, LinkedIn, all through there like that. So you won't see this continual pit report summary SNL. There's only going to be 2 of these, right? And they're just going to be updated on the page, and then after that will be all the names. Okay. It'll be a little more for me to do, but it's not that big a deal. If it makes everybody happy, that's what we want to do. All right, everybody, have a good afternoon. The one thing I forgot to mention is USO. I have a hard stop in our strategy letter for this. We were trading what, 2020, not very long ago. The problem is we're short a lot of deltas in this on this condor, and we're sitting above the 20 strike. So overall, it's an okay place, right? 2079. Right? If we closed here, like yesterday when we were at like 180 bucks, we're about 50% of the way there. So any pullback we get, I'm going to close this. It's very easy for it to run to the end and close there, and then we're out of luck. I mean, that's the bottom line with it. So my gut was telling me when we were up 180 bucks yesterday to close it. And I was waiting for another day of decay, and that ended up costing us, it ended up costing the trade a little bit. I mean, but at this point, I know. At this point, I would just close the condor and just leave the call spread on for $1. I'm not worried about the call spread. It's up 82 cents. There's not much else. I know. My rig trade's doing well. I'm very happy about that. You'd be proud of me, Susan. I even sold more puts in there. I paid for my back spread with puts. I don't normally do it, but the back spreads are making money and the puts are making money. But I'd figure I'll take all the rig I can get at 13. A little downdraft we just had helped. All right, all. Other than that, yeah, this is a bummer because our condor was right there. It's right there. You got to pick up that decay for another 8 days. If you're trading 65 bucks a barrel, our trade's kind of screwed. So that's why I say right? Any pullback will probably take the money immediately, right? Because there's way too many short deltas relative. No, but we're at 60 and a half. I think all the demand is the U.S. stopped producing. When they frack, it's pretty quick. You just stop. I've got some frack natural gas stuff, and they can just turn the spout off in a second. It's amazing, the technology. I don't know, we were 45 and now we're 60. You tell me. All right, everybody, have a good day. And I have to leave the room because I have to process the video, but I will see you all shortly. I know. I think the world economy is actually not doing that bad. I mean, relative, there's growth in Africa, growth in Asia. It's not roaring, it's just not doing bad. And considering we had financial crisis, not doing bad is okay. But right now, it's all rates. They're going to raise faster than we thought, and everybody thinks the world's going to end because they're going to raise what? 100 basis points? It's ridiculous. But there will be a knee-jerk heavy sell-off. All right, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.